Hello, this is Bonnie Burkert, and you are watching and listening to Truth Be Told, Transformation. I'm here to share tools for transformation to live your highest truth. And what I mean by highest truth is really just authenticity. And there's lots of different ways that each of us can discover that authentic voice. So today on my show, I would like to introduce Japanese film producer Yoichi Utebi. Hi, Yoichi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
So Yoichi's got a new film coming out called The Divine Protector. And he's got a lot of concepts because not only is he a film producer, he also is a director of an organization, a spiritual organization out of Japan as well, called Happy Science. And so I'm very interested to hear how you're using the medium of film to convey some of the subjects and beliefs that come from Happy Science and why you've chosen some of the visuals and storylines that you did. So let's start off with, again, welcome. And let's start off a little bit. Why don't you give us the plot of the film, The Divine Protector?
Sure. And so this very short summary. This is a supernatural, spiritual, and also a superhero. It's a woman, so it's a super heroine movie. And it's called Divine Protector, Master Soul Begins. So this person's name is Shioko. Okay, Shio means salt in Japanese. Wow. So that's why she's the master of curse repelling, a divine protector. And her name is Master Salt. So why is it salt? You might ask. So, if I think salt, if you see like in small restaurant, you spice the salt, or there's you put the salt tower of salt in the corner of houses, like in Japan.
Yes.
Or you purified your crystals in Western society to use salt water, things like that. So salt has a very strong spiritual power to purify things and also to create like a spiritual screen or like a protective environment from all the negative and evil energies. So she actually uses the salt to repel the curses and evil existence. So that's why she's called Master Salt.
That's great. So I'm really glad that you gave some of those details because one of the things that's interesting to me is that you've got symbology in your movie that I'm like, oh, is that popular and of interest in Japan in the way that I know about it through some of the Western traditions, right? So which I perhaps falling under pagan, but it probably goes even older than that, although pagan's pretty old. But using salt for protection. So you mentioned putting it in the corners of houses.
Yes, we do that a lot in Japan.
Oh, well, that's great because, I've always heard about that as well. So that's really interesting to know that we share that tradition.
Yeah. So you see that in the movie too, right? Master Salt advises one of the professor guy, you should put this part of the salt in the corner to protect yourself.
Okay, that's great. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about what we're protecting ourselves from. So I've saw the beginning of the movie, and I think, this sort of brings us into the subject of our talk, polishing the mind, because it definitely seems that some of the problems that the girls have in the movie are coming from negative thoughts.
That's right.
Right. So tell me a little bit about, again, how you're interweaving
negative thoughts,
what
right?
that looks like.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, she's a master of curse repelling, Master Salt. So when you think about curse, usually you probably think about, hitting a nail on the straw door or cursed houses, or there's some kind of spooky rituals, sacrificial rituals. The horror movie or, something that is not too clean and something really scary, curse, right? Yeah. Or like a demonic kind of image you have.
Yes.
But what we want to portray in this movie is that curse is not just something like that you see in the movies, but it actually exists in everyday life. It's happening every day in our life, and curses are just flying around us all the time, everywhere. So what curse is a really, really strong, it's almost like a strong negative wish, concentrated power of wish, the willpower, but it's a negative willpower where you want to hurt somebody or bring unhappiness or bring misfortune to somebody strongly. So that energy of negative thoughts all combined together. If you hit by that energy from somebody else, and then you are cursed. Okay. So it's exactly, you don't have to actually use some kind of special spell or anything like that to curse somebody, but it's happening everywhere around the world, especially in the internet world today.
Very interesting. I definitely like that concept a lot, and I think it's important for us to all look at it. So, and I mean, we even use, when we say bad words, right? You say they're curse words, profanity.
Yeah, that's right.
Are curse words. Interesting, right?
Yeah.
I never really thought
if you
about
think
that.
about it, let's say you get into an accident, or you fall down and you get injured, you hurt your knees or your leg, or I don't like to say something negative, but you get into a car accident, you just don't feel good suddenly, you are feeling so good working, and suddenly you just feel this back pain or neck pain from just coming from nowhere. You weren't even going to the gym and strain your spine, but suddenly it gets something goes wrong with your body. Then you have to think about, is this the coincidence, or is this something that I have something wrong in my mind that is actually attracting these negative things, or is somebody thinking so strongly about me where the negative thought is materializing around me? So it's just a hint.
Okay, so I understand your concept about that. And I want to ask you, is that something that is a personal belief system, or is this part of the story of the movie?
Oh, this is part of definitely the story of the movie.
Okay.
This is the main concept of this movie.
Right.
Yeah, there's 5 short stories that revolve around people's wrong thought or we call it poison of the mind. It comes from Buddhist teaching, right? Okay. Poison of the mind, wrong thoughts that would cause misfortune to others. And also, you're going to cause you misfortune as well. You're going to pull in negative, things, like the rules of karma, right? So
yes, very much so. I mean, and that's one of the concepts in spell crafting, is anything that you put out comes back to you threefold, right? There's a term for it. Somebody can give them, direct message me to correct me on them. I'm unprepared, but you know what I'm talking about. But I just don't want to. I mean, and correct me. This is a conversation here. I don't like that somebody could be thinking something that badly about me that it would hurt me. So tell me what you would do to be safe from that. Right? Or sure. I think that's basically what I want to ask. Let's start with that.
What can you do to protect
just in general
thoughts, right? Yeah. I mean, if you're let's say a woman or man, very attractive, very friendly, you have all the beautiful friends, and you're always loved by somebody. And let's say you have a friend, she wants to like you, right? Deep inside, she wants to become a person exactly like you, because you become like ideal of the person. But sometimes that kind of thinking can turn into a strong jealousy, and that could turn into a hatred if you think about it, right? Just one case, right?
Okay.
An idea. So these things can happen without you actually knowing it. So what you can do first is really to, this is where it comes to the idea of polishing your mind. This is more like a Buddhist way of thinking, is to, instead of fighting back with a power and force, to fight the force with the force. Sometimes it's important, if they're so negative and evil, where they just so hurting you so hard, sometimes you need to fight back, repel with the power of energy. But the best way to do is to really polish yourself, polish your mind. We call them self-reflection in a lot of times in Buddhist teachings. So you need to look into yourself and self-reflect and know the negative thoughts and negative ideas that you have in yourself. And always try to shine your mind, polish your heart, polish your soul. So it becomes like and like a power of light, energy of light. If you're surrounded by that kind of positive energy, what happens is like all the negative energy is like almost like a very lower spiritual level wavelength.
Yes.
And if you are like higher, spiritual level with a more powerful positive energy, the energy does not match. It almost like it just goes like that, right?
Yes.
So if you are in the same ground, it's easy for you to receive it and get influence strongly about
Excellent.
it. But if you try to keep yourself up higher a little bit, the negative energy will not be able to hit you, but the thoughts will have to go somewhere. It just goes out to the universe, but it just doesn't stop there. It has to go somewhere, right? So that, like you just said, eventually you just have to return and go back to where it came from. So whoever is thinking negativity will have to receive that energy back to them again. Anyway, so it's a returning of the curse of a negative energy without you trying to fight it so hard, but to be positive and try not to receive those lines. That's the one way.
Excellent.
There's other ways, but just one way.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's the expression like attracts like.
That's right.
If you talk about, and I guess we're just going to kind of go into some of the emotions that are conveyed in the film, right? So we're seeing jealousy, we're seeing greed, and in the different vignettes, the different short stories that are told, and I think it's great to your commentary on this is don't resonate at that level yourself.
Yep.
So if somebody's jealous of you, I guess it's like what you're suggesting. This is the polishing, where the polishing comes in, is to take that higher path, that shinier path. I always say shine on at the end of my show. And I mean, I think that's what I'm trying to do, is to get the tarnish off, because I don't know, if somebody's jealous of you, are you, I don't know, you got it going on. Are you being arrogant? Are you being
that's right.
so fabulous?
That's right.
Or not as friendly because you're so busy?
Exactly. So there's always a cause in you as well. So when you're getting negative energy in you, that means it's your fault. Even though it's their fault, you have to take it as it's your own responsibility.
Okay.
That's a higher level. Next stage is like, even though you know that person is bad and you are not, even with that, you have to think there might be something that is actually attracting the energy. There's a kid, like in high school, like in middle school or like kindergarten, there's one boy who always bullied, like bully boy, right? But there's always another person who is being bullied, right?
Yeah.
But there's a specific person that is being bullied by bully boy. So bully boy is a bad guy. He's a bad guy, of course. He needs to be punished because he's bad. But there is a reason why this specific person is being targeted, right? If there's 10 or 20 kids, there's only one kid who'll be targeted.
Yes.
There has to be a reason why. And I don't know, it depending on the situation, but there's got to be a reason why this person is actually focusing on this specific person. So there's got to be a reason. So when you're a kid, you won't be able to understand it. But when you're mature enough, you should start to think there might be something in me that is attracting. For example, in this movie, there is a woman. He's a TV announcer. She's a TV announcer, and she's deceived by this man, right? And she thinks it's his fault because he is actually a bad guy. He's a really bad guy. But Master Salt asked her, maybe there's something in you that is actually attracting this guy. And she started to go into her reflection and meditation. And she realizes in herself that she was thinking, that's right. If I'm with this guy, she's rich, she's famous, she's handsome. My life is all set. She's like, I think I'll be better off going with this guy. So she had this self-preservation way of thinking in herself as well. So she finds that out. She realizes it. So it wasn't just a pure love, giving love, but it was something that is more for herself. So that kind of thinking actually attracted or gave a little space in her mind, in her soul, for that guy to actually get into her, and it ended up, she's being misery deceived, but she's, it's also will go back to him in the movie. So that's just another example. In the movie.
Yeah, interesting. So it's almost, so there's different aspects of this. And I think when you describe that particular story, one of the things I get out of it is fear. So she was going into that relationship from a fear-based standpoint. Like, I'm not going to have enough, so I have to go with this guy that can give me more. Maybe. I don't know if that's one angle.
That's one angle, yep.
Because, it's interesting. We learned this from Marianne Williamson, is somebody who I've studied so much, and she always says, this is from the Course in Miracles, that everything is either love or fear. And so maybe it even describes the bullying. They always say that about animals, right? If there's a fear, that animals can sense the fear on you.
That's right.
We are ultimately animals as well.
Yep.
So that's some very visceral, but what we want to do is take it to the mind, the thought process here, because really this I like about your movie a lot, is that you really are, you found a very colorful way. And once again, I've seen you talk to us in the past about your film, The Cherry Bushido. And your special effects are fantastic. It's really great. It's
it's a really, really not well budgeted, but we do our best within the budget.
Well, no, you do, and it's exciting that way. And this is it's a very, very colorful and compelling way of telling stories. And perhaps your audience is younger and learning all of this, because Master Salt, which it's fun. We don't think about that name, but it really has a lot of interesting legacy around salt. It was a very precious mineral at one point. And
that's right.
So, but it's also utilized, now I learn, in all corners of the world, right, as a protective clearing, right? Saltwater baths, like you say, the crystals. I've definitely taken my I've taken crystals down to the beach and got them, soaked them in the waves. Even, I have done that. And so it's really, really great. So I like the creation of this new superhero. So tell us a little bit more about what you were looking for when you found a lead like Master Salt.
Well, again, so I think I talked about this last time too. So the original concept and original story was written by Ryuho Okawa. He is the founder and CEO of Happy Science, which I belong to, an organization from Japan. So actually, he's the one who actually gave us this name, the Divine Protector Master Salt Begins. And it's totally different. In Japanese, it's the direct translation would be like the cursed repair, Miss Salt is born, something like that. But in English, this is the title. So at first we're like, Master Salt, like, I don't know, how can we put this together in context? But we kind of understood where it came from. So we're just going with it. So the Divine Protector is another way of expressing, herself. Because in the movie, there's a lot of important point is about having faith. It doesn't matter which religion you're in. Okay, in this movie, she has a strong faith towards Buddha. Okay, so she is a divine protector, which means any god, Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad, any god, their wish, higher existence, higher beings who comes down to earth. Their wish is to save people, right? Save people from sufferings.
Yes.
That's why they're here to save us. They're the saviors, right? So she's a divine protector. So she protects that kind of important sacred mission. So she is also has the same mission to protect the people and save the people, and save them from all the sufferings they have in everyday life. So it has a spiritual and also faithful meaning behind this concept and the title as well. So that's another important part of this movie. It's a superhero, it's fun to watch, exciting movie, but at the same time, we want to portray something that is very important in today's world. That's something we are starting to miss just a little bit. That is the importance of having faith and having belief in something higher than you. So
yes. Okay. So, you've done so in a film that actually has some creepy elements. There's monsters.
Yeah.
Some might find the pentagram a little bit, first look. Some people may default to that being, a little bit demonic. So tell me.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, yes. I don't. I mean,
Depends,
if the point is turned down upside down, then that is a code. But that's not what you all are doing. But tell me about the use of that star. I mean, do you know that? How does that translate in Japan? The way it might.
A pentagon is a symbol of defeating evil.
Okay.
It's just that simple in Japan. When this is pentagon, and in the star, right? That's like the symbol of the winning of God's winning in defeating evil. So it's a very powerful, positive symbol that we think that's what it is. So it's actually totally opposite in demonic symbol, and so that's what it means in this movie. It's a positive thing. Yeah.
Well, right, and I mean, unfortunately for most, it's representative of the 5 elements. And so, I mean, it's nature, right? And so, but unfortunately, it's been taken and utilized by some dark people that misuse a classic
Satanism, right?
symbol. That's
Satanism,
all over the world. So, but I was just curious about that. And when the pentagram is on the floor, that's where they call in Master Salt, right?
Yeah. It's like a little ritual ceremony. They actually do that in 7 p.m. and 7 minutes on the day of the 7th.
Okay.
777.
So once a month,
winning number. Right?
Once a month on the 7th.
Yep.
Okay, so tell me about your numerology. Do you have any?
So 777 is again a victory of God, right? 666 is the demon's symbol, as we all know, right? 666. So 777 is the symbol or the number of the God's winning, the victory. So that's why it's 7 p.m. 7 at night and 7 minutes in the 7th day.
No, it's nice. You've got a lot of details for people that, I mean, that's what's interesting for me. Again, coming from your culture, I'm seeing some of the things that we might see in Western films as well as part of it. Okay, so at one point, Master Salt she's like having it out with a really scary devilly demon. So again, you put in some elements to it. I mean, it's a supernatural film, as you use that term, but you put some elements in it that have a little bit of, a little creepy. So tell me again how you make some of the choices that you do.
So, we are always looking at it from God's and universe and positive energy point of view, right? So, that's the biggest important point about this movie when you watch it. So of course there's a evil spirit comes out, demons comes out, Ashura spirit will come out. So you see all different kind of spirits. That's like a symbolic symbol of all the negative energy that this movie is talking about. So when you are jealousy or when you are mad, you're angry, that's when you are spiritually connected to Ashura kind of evil, right? Or the demons that you're connected to. And if you are connected to so depending on or if you are connected to very egoistic, conceited, full of pride kind of person, that you are connected to this creature existence. It's called Tengu in Japan.
Okay.
I don't know. In Western culture, I think we can translate it as like a long-nosed goblin.
Okay.
But it's a little different. But it's maybe something very specific to Japan. It's like a monster from the not the hell realm, but he's very conceited type of the monster that you can see in this movie. So it's a metaphoric thing, okay, to show everybody if you are having this kind of such negative thoughts in your life, this is the kind of hell you go to if hell does exist. Right? Some people do believe hell exists, right? So for some people, it's just it's another supernatural storyline. But for some people, it's belief and it's real, and also evils and demons and those monster creatures is a metaphoric thing. It's a symbol, but at the same time, we can take it as a little bit more seriously real things. Maybe if there is a spirits actually exist in this world. Right. So there's like a question, messages that we want to also throw out to the world as well.
Yeah. Okay. No, I get that. And I mean, like you say, I mean, I've had other speakers on different topics of hauntings. And I mean, they definitely attribute certain kind of poltergeist type activities can be very, very much based on people that are perhaps have a mental like a frequency, there's something going wrong, and it's creating a disturbance that's showing up as physical in a dwelling. So it's interesting because I was definitely taking it very metaphoric when watching your movie, but I'm realizing that there almost is an aspect of there's of ghosts and the haunting too that could be applicable.
That's right. Yep.
And certainly, I mean, there are ghost stories from all over the world. So I'm sure that it's another way of kind of reminding people to stay shiny.
That's right.
Right. And just, I think probably, again, just, I think as you take care of yourself and you look at some of the darker thought processes, right, that this film is inviting us to look at, and certainly through your work in Happy Science as well, I'm sure. I think that as you raise your energy, you do have there's just better, you're raising your thought process and better energy than results. And perhaps it means that you're just going to be attracting better things in your life. That's people that you're interacting with.
Of course.
What's going on in your home.
Yep.
Right? I mean.
Definitely. Yeah. Thoughts manifest. What we think is who we are, and what we think and what we wish for is going to become reality. It's a power of positive thinking. That's like a golden rule of this entire universe. So, it can work both ways. The universe gave us free will and free thinking. So we can either think positively, and bring something positive to your life. But at the same time, God gave us this free will. We can also think negatively as well, because God is free, So he gave us exactly the same characteristics as God has to us human souls. So we can think negatively, and we can, if you so negatively strongly, again, it's the same concept, same the laws of the universe that would manifest into this world. So negative can also become a reality as well. So that's why we want to tell the world. You have to be very, very careful about what you think and what you push out to this world, because that will become reality. So let's be positive, give love, always think, positive energy out to the world. And that would help the world. And also that would also protect yourself and help you become happier and, live a life filled with love. So that's like the ultimate message we want to give out. But in order to do that, sometimes we have to show. So what is it in the other side of the world, the negative side? What's going to happen if you think negatively? So that's like a lesson to be learned. Kind of a movie, I guess.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, no, absolutely. Your vibe attracts your tribe, right? I mean, that's really, and I love that. I mean, this is such the through line of many of the conversations that I like to have, and just remind people. And, I mean, one of the things that I also study through my yoga studies is it's not, you say positive thinking, and I'm 100% with you. And yet I also invite people to just know getting to neutral. So don't default into the negative, worst possible scenario, glass half empty scenario.
Sure.
Try to get to neutral, right?
Yep. It's called the middle way in Buddhism teaching.
Okay.
Yep. Don't go to right, don't go to left, don't go to down, don't go to up. Just stay in the middle. Always constantly endeavor, always be self-responsible, self-help kind of idea, step by step, one by one, you walk your way. And that kind of person will walk the farthest.
Beautiful. No, I
Yeah,
like that very
definitely.
much. All right. Polishing the mind. So what are some other concepts that we could share about that?
Sure. So, it's like if you really start to, I know you do yoga, so you probably understand. If you really polish your mind and you get to the point where, through meditation and self-reflection, you go to the state where your mind is so calm and peaceful. You're just meditating yourself or just thinking about in yourself. I mean, you can take bath if you want to. It doesn't matter what kind of posture, what kind of style you're in. As long as your mind is so calm and in serenity, that's when you can really almost like see or hear the vibration of what other people are thinking. So if you can get to that level, sometimes you can actually suddenly you see this person's face. You're going to get this kind of experience, or just think about this person suddenly without nowhere. And you're going to say to yourself, why am I thinking about this person? Just pops out in my head. I wasn't even thinking about the person. There's no coincidence. There must be something going on with you and the person. And there's only two things that can happen. One is that she or he is thinking positively about you, like loving you and thinking, good thing about you. When he or she is thinking positive about you, then you shouldn't feel uncomfortable when you feel that kind of person's energy. You should feel happy as well. So that means probably the person is thinking good thing about you. So why don't we give love back to them? So there's a bigger love surrounding us all. But if you start to think about this person and you just don't feel comfortable or very uncomfortable, or some of your parts of your body is just starting to ache or just not feeling well, then you can almost be sure that this person is not thinking good thing or positive thing about you. Then you can find out maybe maybe it's not occurs yet, but he's not thinking or she's not thinking positive thing about me. So what you can do is to send back the positive energy to the person as well, energy, and try to come to mutual agreement spiritually, I guess.
Okay.
Or if you can see the person, if he's living close to you, or if the person happen to be somebody that you're working with or something, you should just go up to the person and just start talking to them. Try to figure out and try to neutralize. The word neutralize perfect. Try to understand what's happening, and by doing that, if you can stop the person's negative thinking towards you, that will, stop the curse, and that will bring that person happiness and also bring you happiness. And there will be a mutual understanding and agreement, or mutual love, I guess. So that's another way of doing it.
Yeah.
Meditation.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, forgiveness feels like a little, one of the words that might apply to it, but it's maybe you're not even to the point because you're having a sense that something's off between that person.
That's right.
Between you and that person.
Yep.
And I mean, it's definitely true. I mean, we talked about this at the beginning about how you were saying if somebody's thinking negative things about you, that it can turn into something, right? And I was like, whoa, Yoichi, that's a little creepy. I'm not liking that. But in fact, I see where you're coming from just when I think about how there's certain people that you just feel your energy's off after spending time with them.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? And
Why is
so
that?
I think that's really kind of what and there's probably many different aspects to it. It could be your own discomfort with that person that then creates a lower feeling, which then attracts.
Yeah.
Something like that, right? Interesting.
Yeah, there's always a cause there. So, it's very important. It's a difficult thing because you cannot see anything. It's just a sense and feeling, but it does exist. We all know there's some people you just feel happy. Some people you just feel like your all energy is drained out just by being with this person for like 5-10 minutes. So there's give you a reason why there's energy exchange, positive energy exchange, negative energy exchange. So you have to be mindful about that because it's better to be mindful, in other words, than being just not protective. Sometimes there's a moment where, oh my God, this is not going to be so good. So I think I need to protect myself a little bit. That doesn't mean you have to close everything out of this person. Just be protective, just sense that, So this way, you don't get affected by negative energy, and you can keep your energies up and stay healthy and things like that. Because once it starts to go into negative spiral, things still can get worse sometimes.
Right.
So
It's like don't engage.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't engage in that behavior. And we can use this. I live in Los Angeles, so you do too. I often use the analogies around driving because we're very tested.
Yes.
We are very, very, very tested.
So true.
And I just had a conversation with somebody about road rage, and I forget it doesn't matter what, but I saw how when the story was told, my friend, she engaged, and I was like, don't, because that person is maybe wrong, but they actually even tell us this in driving school. If something, just don't look at the other person. Don't turn your head and look. If they've done something wrong or they're tailgating you, just don't even shoot that evil eye their way. So there you go. It's almost like practicing the yoga of peace wherever you go.
Definitely.
And I call it yoga just because it's always bringing through the energy of yoga, the yoking of the divine. And so what I'm hearing from Happy Science, and I want to ask you kind of in our final moments here about why science? I feel the happy part. But tell me the science part.
Science is really discovering what is true happiness. And that's why it's happy science. Like let's find out, figure out. There must be a way for anybody to find the happiness, wherever situation, wherever the lifestyle, whoever you are, wherever you're living, anybody can find a happiness within the environment and the situation they are living in. So it's going to be different between me and you and him and her, but there's always a happiness that is almost like universal. In other words, even it doesn't matter what kind of situation you're in, but there should be a way of thinking, a way of receiving, a way of putting things out there that will bring you happiness, like peace of your mind, I guess, within yourself. So that is to discover how to attain the way, how to attain the true happiness within yourself that lies within yourself. And so it's very discovering. So it's like a science. So
okay, it's great. There's almost there's like a formula to it. And I study Kundalini yoga, and they call it a technology. And I really do get that. And some of it is in terms of the positions and using certain angles when you are working through the yoga movements. But I think it's also kind of understanding a process, right, that you go through.
That's
and
right.
Staying with it.
Right.
It's interesting. It makes me kind of want to look at a closer definition of science in a way and see how it applies.
There are certain patterns and certain ways to approach and for any human beings to bring happiness to your life. And that's what we're trying to discover and share with the world.
Well, it's great. And then, a mission, you have a little mission statement for me about making these films, because you've got several now, right? That you've produced. And again, they are really just trying to educate people on living in a higher vibration, ultimately.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's what we want to do. Yeah. So through these movies, it's fun to watch, entertainment, exciting, but at the same time, we want everybody to bring something back, that would give positive and something that is something new idea, new concept or new way of thinking to bring happiness to yourself and also to others. Because if you don't bring happiness to others, you're just happy for yourself, and that's just a egoistic person. So that has to transfer into happiness for others. That's the most important point.
Well, that's so great.
We both need to be happiness.
So we're both using various medium to do so. So
that's
again,
right.
I wish you every success on your film, The Divine Protector, Master Salt.
Thank you so much.
Begins.
By the way, just so you know, we just finally booked the theater. It's going to be playing at the Lemley Glendale.
Okay.
From October 21st.
Fantastic. All right, that's great. So we'll make sure that we let everybody know, and I'll try to make it. I've never been to that theater before, so that's really great. And keep doing the work that you're doing, Yoichi. It's really great, and I appreciate you. And best wishes. Okay.
Thank you.
Namaste. Take
All right,
good care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. This has been Truth Be Told Transformation. We're really here to tell stories and share ideas and techniques on how we can really live our highest, best life and share it with people, just like Yoichi just said. It's so important. So until the next episode, we hope that you will share and follow and subscribe. And don't forget, Tony Sweet is on every Friday live on the Truth Be Told Radio TV YouTube channels. So until the next time, we will see you soon. I'm Bonnie, and you take good care and shine on.